everyone. So as you'll see from the title of this video, after this week's amazing news about the Westlife reunion, I decided I would bring my Westlife Memories content forward so that we've got some new videos to enjoy while we're waiting for the new music. So this first video, I'm just going to talk about how I first became a fan of Westlife. So this was in March 1999. And it was a time when I was 18 and I really did think my boy band days were behind me. So there I was in my room doing my homework while watching one of the many teen dramas I was hooked on, Heartbreak High in this instance. And when it ended, I left the TV on and was half watching it while at the same time working. Suddenly I heard the word Westlife and I looked up as I had heard of this band, Ronan's protégés. And they were the last boy band I had liked, so I had kind of followed what Ozone were doing. And it was an interview being done by a fan who had won a competition, I guess, and they were actually being interviewed in the Blue Peter Garden for a programme called the Ozone. I don't know if anybody remembers that, anybody that's as old as me. And it was fine, it was, a normal interview. And then Mark, who had basically said nothing for the whole interview, just suddenly looked up and gave a megawatt smile with his dimples. And I just remember going, oh crap, because that was it. I knew then my boy band days were not behind me. So the very next day I went into school and telling my friends all about this, and they're rolling their eyes and they're like, oh dear, she's lost it. But my very kind friend Rachel offered to go home and print me out a picture of Mark from the internet, because at that time I didn't even have the internet at home. That's how long ago it was. So as the weeks passed, I was buying teeny bopper magazines again, all of that jazz. Swear It Again got to #1, and I basically ruined the tape by watching my Top of the Pops Swear It Again performance repeatedly while I was revising for my A-levels. I would be like 15 minutes revision, then I'll watch it, 15 minutes revision, then I'll watch it. And I have linked that above. It's a bit grainy, but you can just about make it out. And then we found out that Westlife were going to be at Party in the Park in Hyde Park. So my friends and I got tickets, and we live about an hour outside London. So we got up at 4 a.m. to try and get into London before the first trains got there. So we got driven to a tube station and then got into London that way. But to be honest, we were still like miles back. When I kind of look back now and laugh at how, I went to see Westlife for the first time and really I barely saw them at all. And as you'll see from the pictures, I had made a massive banner, and that's because there was supposed to be a competition to get backstage, and I was kind of determined to meet Westlife, so I had tried my very best with the banner. I don't think the slogans would quite meet Nicky's dirty requirements for being read out on a tour these days, but anyway, I was a very innocent 18-year-old. You can actually see, I'm linking the footage, and I'll put in the description box below where Westlife appear on that footage, because it's actually kind of the highlights of the whole concert. It's quite a good video. I'm quite impressed I found it. And you can actually see my banner, and I'll put that in the description box below where you can see it. So Westlife came on and I just started screaming like a 10-year-old girl, and my friends were all looking at me again like she's absolutely lost it. So anyway, that was that, and I'd really enjoyed seeing them. But after that I had a newfound determination that I was going to meet Westlife. So by this time a few months had passed, and actually we had got the internet at home. And I had joined all these mailing lists. So at that time it was like Westlife at onelist.com, and you signed up and then you got lots of emails. That was how it worked in those days. We had no social media. It's quite funny actually doing this. It's kind of like a little history lesson as well. So yes, so I was getting all these emails, and a lot of the girls on this group were meeting Westlife like every day. They lived in London, and I think they were generally a bit younger than me, but anyway, and I started to get quite jealous, and I was like, I'm determined I have to go too. But I kind of thought, oh, these are all a bit young. I'm kind of embarrassed to go with these girls that are, they were probably only 2 years younger than me, but to me that felt like a lot. So I went on the Westlife chat room one night and I got talking to someone, and she was the same age as me, and also she liked Brian. So I was like, oh, that's good because we won't have a conflict over our favourite. And I said, oh, I hear they're on CBBC tomorrow morning. Shall we go to London to see them? And she said yes. And so to find out what happened then, you'll need to watch my next video. So thanks for listening to me chatting about this. And if you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you've not subscribed already. And I will put the next instalment up in a few days' time. Bye for now.